PerkyPlanes and RC here, operating at 2.4 gigahertz, and getting back to the Tower Hobbies Uproar build. As you can kind of see here, and probably from the title, we're going to be working on some fuselage stuff today. Still got a few more things to tidy up with the wing, but I figure that's not a big deal. We can kind of move on to doing the fuselage section, which honestly, so far has not been too terrible. And let me kind of bring you guys up to speed here on what's going on. So I got the two fuselage sides right here. And over here, of course, I have some of my doublers stacked up. Going to be using doublers on the inside of the fuse. I'm actually in the process of getting the rear ones glued on right now. And outside of the doublers and the fuselage sides, there's some formers to put in. And I think the fuselage build is going to be relatively, looks to be relatively painless. So, but anyways, just want to kind of go ahead and show that to you guys. I think the glue set on these, I wanted to kind of show something here. And thanks to my father-in-law, he hooked me up with this new block that I can use on my builds or just whatever else I want to use it for. So how awesome is that? I don't think it's an Acme brand though. So pretty cool, huh? Something I wanted to mention on this particular build, and it was kind of tricky, is the pushrod tube exit holes here. So this right here, of course, is where the pushrod tube is going to exit for the tail section. And in the instructions, it said there was like some die-cut lines on the fuse towards the end that I could use as reference to cut those holes out. I basically that was very difficult for me because you could barely see the lines. I don't know if it was just because of the age of the kit and been sitting, or if they just weren't really die cut very well, or whatever the case was. But it took a lot of squinting on my part to find those lines and then to cut those holes. So that was fun. So, but anyways, going to go ahead and roll through getting these the rest of these doublers put on, and we'll start bringing this guy to shape. All right, guys, going on here to the next thing here. I did go ahead and get all the formers put, or the the doublers put in. So I put them all in their marked places here. Something interesting, I actually had an extra doubler in the kit. Maybe it's, I guess it's kind of like you putting something together and you have a couple extra screws just in case something happens. But anyways, and I'm pretty sure there's no other place I could put it. So, but I had enough doublers here to go ahead and complete both sides. Something I want to mention I did do here as well is when I was laying everything out, I marked on the fuselage here, I don't know if you can see it, marked it with my pencil, where the bottom of the fuselage is. I did this for both sides. So that way when I'm putting it together and stuff, I don't get the orientation wrong and or make duplicate sides or what have you. So on situations like this, yes, make sure you kind of either mark it or at least know or lay it out to where you know what is what. And as you can kind of see here, next thing I've been working on is getting the formers in place. Now, something on the formers, there's I believe 5 of them here. Something I had to go ahead and do was mark, or, excuse me, there's formers 2 through 5 is what it was. So there's actually 4 formers total. So, but I went ahead and drilled, it was a 3/16 hole on each former. This is for the pushrod tube. So I went ahead and did all that. Now I'm starting to put the formers in place. And then we'll start actually sandwiching, or well, I would say sandwiching, but kind of piecing these two sides together, and then we'll glue it in place. So guys, getting everything kind of test fit before I do the official gluing. So as you can see here, I got both sides up, all my formers in place, and all that kind of stuff. So it's good, everything's test fitting pretty good. So about time to actually glue it. I did find out I made a mistake. So right now the orientation, this is the bottom of the fuselage here. The mistake that happened, and I was able to correct it before I did any kind of gluing, was actually on former 2. I had this one reversed to where this is the where the throttle push rod tube is going to go for the engine. I actually had the throttle over on this side originally, and I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute, if I mount my engine, the throttle is actually on the right side over here. In fact, I'll go ahead and show you guys. This here is the engine that will be on this particular airplane. This is a Tower Hobbies 40. Basically a near brand new engine. I think only been run a couple times. So, but as you can see here, and usually on most of these two-stroke glue engines, the throttle is on the right side. So I had to go there and reverse that former for my push rod tube for the throttle. So basically at this stage right now, I'm ready to go ahead and start taping the, kind of put some tape to hold these pieces together, and then I can start taking some glue down in some of these formers and get everything nice and secure. So let me go ahead and we'll do that. All right, guys. So what I've done here is I went ahead and put some masking tape around the fuselage to sort of hold it in place, and then I've taken my weights to sort of pin this down to the plans itself, and I'm going through each former, starting with number 2, and I've taken my thin CA, which is something I've really hardly used on this particular build, but for this particular situation, you'll definitely need it. So the thin CA, this little handy tip right there, of course, and then I've been using that to sort of get down into some of these areas right here where the formers meet up with the sides of the fuselage. And I've also done on the top side here as well. So right through here and here. And I'll probably, once I get all that set, I will go ahead and take the model and then get up under this other side as well. You know, just kind of rotate it around and then get some, CA up in these areas right through here where this former is right here too. So that way the CA is on both sides and cover both sides. So anyways, just going to work down the model here, and then until we get all that stuff glued in. Hey guys, on to the next step here on the fuselage build. There's a couple things here that I'll kind of go ahead and point out. First thing first, of course, is what you're seeing here. This is the top sheeting for the fuselage. So I've got that glued down and pinned down with my weights there, and the good old trusty anvil. So I got that glued and pinned down in place. Over here in the upper corner with these little clamps, that is the tail post, as they call it. That basically joins the tail section sides together at the very end there, where the rudder and all that's going to be. So got that clamped down and glued, and like I said, I got the sheeting pinned down in place as well. I went ahead and actually laid the sheet down by itself and did not cut it. I just kind of felt like that there was a possibility for error if I did not cut it right or cut too much. So I'd rather just go ahead and glue it all down first and then cut the excess off once it's all, the glue's all set and everything. So, so got that. And this is probably where I'm going to stop the video, guys, on this particular section. Just because basically yesterday I was working on some other channel stuff as well, other videos coming up. And didn't really get a chance to work on the build itself, so I've just only had just this morning to work on the build. But there'll definitely be more stuff coming, so don't worry about that. And really, the rest of the fuselage build is not going to be, there's not a whole great deal left as far as the fuselage build. I got to do my push rod tubes. There's some supports and things there, of course, for the landing gear and things like that. So just some little odds and ends to get the fuselage finished up. And overall, this has really been progressing very well compared to the Tiger Moth. Things have been laid out very well. Instructions have been great. Not really had a whole lot of issues, so that's a plus. I mean, I think what's going to be coming up in the next videos will be just like starting to actually get the wing through the fuselage, installing the cap strips, servos, getting things hinged up and everything, and of course getting the motor installed, you know, things like that. So it's a lot of little odds and ends. So probably in the next videos, it's going to be a lot of just miscellaneous things to kind of get things finished up with the build. And something else I want to mention too, guys, is, and this is probably a weak area for me, is I'm not really too sure in terms of covering in a color scheme. I'm really not too sure where to go with it. So I think the default picture is like this, or the default look is like this white, you know, a white wing, white fuselage, and then have like some Uproar stickers and decorations on it and stuff. So, really not sure if I want to go that route or if I just want to kind of make my own little thing there. So, like I said, that's kind of a weak area for me. I'll probably just put a few stripes and a white overall look and call it done. But I don't know. If you guys got any suggestions or tips or things like that as far as a good color scheme for this airplane, let me know. But anyways, that is all for me for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.